Can we talk about why Hollywood is so weird? Or maybe not even just Hollywood.
Why is Hollywood so weird? Because it's freaking Babylon. Come on.
Hollywood is weird. Like, what is up with all of these? I mean, and you grew up in that world, and so it's like, how did how do they all have trans kids, or how do they all have, you know what I mean? Like,
That's a weird one. That's a weird one.
yeah,
Babylon.
like, why?
Uh,
What is it that's causing them to be
to like buy
so far
in.
out? Yeah, just be so far outside the norm. I mean, I've lived in LA for years,
Yeah.
a couple, and it's like
Yeah.
I didn't end up like I didn't get infiltrated like that. I mean, of course, I wasn't in the industry, uh, but it's not like I didn't. I mean, I lived in LA. Like a lot of my friends were Hollywood producers and actors.
What did Dave Chappelle say before he took off for like a decade? Remember? He was like talking about how they're like always trying to put men in dresses. It's one of
What
the
is
weird
up with that?
it's one
Like,
of the
why
weird
is it?
things.
Well, and it just seems like yeah, sexual deviancy almost. And I don't know how else to say it. I know that something, but it's something along those lines, right? Because it's, you got these like pedophilia rings that we hear about, like with the child actors coming out and then saying I was molested, or
Sure.
those issues, and then
Yeah.
you've got the Epstein ring where it wasn't just political elites, but there were also kind of Hollywood involved a little bit in that as well.
Um,
Well, and you got Diddy, and I mean, what in the hell is going on? I mean,
well,
what do you think it is? Like,
what's going on?
how does that happen?
What's going on? Um, Look, I don't think there's a lot of morality. I mean, I know there's not a lot of morality in Hollywood. Um, you've got, I think, people that are come into the city with, look, this is a spiritual war, 100%. And people come in with big, with ideals and dreams, and they get drained, and they don't always understand how it's working. And next thing you know, they spiraled out into, you know, despair. You could call like prostitution, but essentially just like whoring themselves to try to get somewhere, drugs, and then morally they whore themselves. And you see it a lot. A lot of filmmakers don't understand. Like when you make a film, you're opening a portal. You're basically operating as a magician. And if you don't have the right intention of what you're putting into that spell, uh, it's pretty interesting what can happen, because we are collectively, I believe, manifesting based on what's being put into our consciousness.
Mhm.
And if we are not careful to really guard our minds and and think for ourselves and connect spiritually to our to our understanding of morality and truth, we can very easily get lost as viewers or receivers. That's why getting hold of Hollywood has always been so important, right? This idea of like getting hold of the messaging, getting hold of the projection of lifestyles, of commerciality, merchandising, um, war, peace. I mean, you name it, right? It's like how much is being influenced through the stories that were sold to us. Oh, America's the good guy. The CIA is the heroes. NATO is the good. NATO is saving the world. I mean, you name it, right? It's like all
Mhm.
these stories. The Russians are the bad guys. The Russians are scary. Muslims are scary. All these stories. It's like it implants, perpetuates the mythologies. So it's very important to get hold of. And then, then you talk about like the spiritual component of like Satanism. It's all about inversion, isn't it? I mean, to me, that's what I got into the Best Kept Secret series, was like showing step by step, like how much it's an inversion process of like thinking. So, during COVID, it was like, air and sunlight, that's not healthy. Staying inside, being, isolated, it's all
Right.
inversions, right? Um, your immune system is bad. You have to inject this mRNA technology to save you.
Yeah.
All this nonsense. It's like it's really spell casting. And so, again,
Without
Hollywood
people
plays a
really
role.
knowing that that's what they're doing, right? I mean, I think that, when we talk about a spiritual war or Satanism type thing,
Yeah, not
it's like
everybody's. Most people are not Most people are not practicing it at like a level of conscious sorcery. But
right, they
some,
don't know that they're
well,
doing this.
I don't know. I mean, when Lady Gaga says, I swear to Lucifer," like, Does
Okay,
she
maybe
know?
she
When
okay.
she goes to
Oh,
do like a spirit cooking, does she understand the spiritual implication of that? When you're like eating a dead body, even if it's just a mockery in an effigy, does you know? Does she understand it, or is she like mind controlled? I don't know. I mean, I don't assume to know people's consciousness. I don't assume to understand what's in their consciousness. I do know that there's a lot of predators in Hollywood. I know there's a lot of sociopathic tendencies. I think that in general, what we talk about, like what 10% of the population is sociopathic, and guess what? A lot of them become very successful people because they're amazing at if unless they go off and go crazy, and completely
yeah.
derail, they can very easily masquerade and become politicians and lawyers and celebrities and you name it.
It is just such a weird it's just whenever I mean, it's just weird. Hollywood's weird. And like I said, I lived in LA for a long time. Lots of friends that are from really famous to not, but all in the but and I didn't come across that much weirdness, I don't think. I mean, I felt like people were pretty normal. But then I hear these stories and I see these, maybe I'm reading too much TMZ sometimes on my free time and being like, what in the hell is going on in this joint? Like, people are really crazy. And how does that even happen? I mean, they're living in the same place I am. Like, how did they just get this nutty? Or how did they get sucked into these horrible, like the Diddy world? And I think Diddy, that one showcases pretty well what kind of happens, like a person feeling, when we watched the testimony and Cassie and all that, it was a lot of, oh, we think, I don't know, there was just a lot of weirdness. There was a lot of, I think, showcasing of how a person ends up in that mindset going along with it because they want something, they have desires for fame and fortune. And so they just kind of go along with it. But what a weird,
I think it's with him. I think it's deeper. I think he was a front for a lot of stuff from the very beginning.
yeah, well,
People
and then
always
there's
talk
that.
about like black mafia and stuff with him. And when I met him once, like a long time ago, I just didn't get a strong feeling that he was that. Um, he wasn't like that charismatic. Let's say, like he wasn't like he didn't really he
Yeah.
wasn't didn't strike me like as in charge. Let's put it
Oh,
like,
okay. Okay. Like he was controlled himself and he was
oh yeah, a lot of these
doing
people are.
stuff for others.
A lot of
Yeah.
these people are because they just want the attention. They want they want whatever the girls, the boys, the attention,
Right. Right.
and they're like they're not necessarily the most talented people. Like there obviously are very talented. I would say like artists and actors, and then there are those that I would say are not the most talented, but they become like faces for money
Yeah.
and a
Right.
lot of money that moves through. Ultimately, at a certain point, you can end up, getting involved with people that are interested, yeah, at the higher levels. They seem to really like young kids.
Gosh. Sick. Totally sick. Um, you talk a lot about spirituality on your site. You do like feel like you talk a lot about that kind of stuff, don't you?
I mean, what else are we? We're not here by matter, and as soup, an accidental, I don't know, burp from the universe and a bunch of
Yeah.
evolutionary mistakes. That's not how we got here.
How can people follow you and watch more of your stuff? I mean, of course, we
um
have the links down below, of course, to
yeah.
RFK Legacy, and also you've done a lot of other documentaries, but you also do your own, you're talking, you're doing blogs, like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
can people follow you?
Yeah, no, I would say seanstone.info has should have the links to a lot of the documentaries, films, books, Instagram, social media handles, stuff like that.
Okay. Well, we have that link down below.
Cool.
I do hope that people check out this new movie, RFK Legacy, um, and your other stuff. I mean, All the President's Men, Best Kept Secret, right? These are all, I think, fantastic things for people to watch and learn and just step outside of what we're just force fed, right? And instead look at things from a different perspective. And I think what's great about your films is that for the normies, because like we're already kind of stepped outside of the matrix, right? We're already looking at things like, hey, things aren't maybe as what they seem, but a lot of people aren't. And I think when they see these films, then they could kind of be like, whoa, I had no idea. And maybe it helps. That's what I love about your films is that
Mm.
it helps the normie. You know, it's a good introduction to like step outside of what you thought and rethink. And then when they do, they're like, what else have I been lied to about? And then suddenly their mind is open to more. And
Yes.
that's, I think, a great thing.
Yeah, no, I like to try to make stories I feel I base it in evidence. Even Best Kept Secret, which gets into adrenochrome and stuff like this, it's like I try to just base everything as with the evidence that I have available, that's publicly available,
Yeah.
and not trying to make allegations that are so far out that you just be like, okay, guys, you're just a bunch of conspiracy theorists, right? Like you're a bunch of flat earthers, and it's like no, just focus on the things that we can pretty much agree upon or prove, and
Right. And
and
then
work with
take it
that.
from there. But
Yeah,
that's why these are so great for people to watch so that they can kind of step outside and say, "Hey, wait a minute." And I think but it's also great for those of us who are already stepped outside and questioning things because then it brings more evidence, brings more more information, and we could always use that. So,
Mm.
Sean Stone, thank you again. Best of luck with this new film. What are you working on next? Dare I ask?
I don't know yet. I don't know yet.
Okay. There's a
We're
lot. There's a lot. I mean, you could do the Charlie Kirk assassination. You could do Epstein files. More, you could do the Trump assassination attempt.
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm not as excited by the politics of the moment. I think I'm more
Okay.
excited by some
But you do one
fictional
on aliens
project.
then?
I do like the alien. Some of the alien stories are pretty compelling, and I think help us to awaken, let's say, our senses to know that we're in a multidimensional reality.
Well, if Hollywood's always predictive, then yeah, we got a problem on our hands pretty soon. It'll be they're coming.
They're here.
They're here. Oh, they're here.
They've been here. I wouldn't
Sean
worry.
Stone, thank you again for being here. Really appreciate it.
You got it. Thank you.
Thank you for watching this clip from the full Kim Iverson show, which you can catch Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern at KimIversonShow.com. It is free for you to watch. Again, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, KimIversonShow.com. See you there.